Hello everyone, Charles here with SlickTrade.net, and in this video presentation I'm going to go over our market commentary for the upcoming week. So first let's start with the New Zealand dollar. This is on the 4-hour time frame, meaning that each of these candles is 4 hours in duration. Okay, this is a great time frame to get in on trades, but I do like to always look at the daily time frame. That's always my main focus. The longer the time frame, the better the overall result, in my opinion. Okay, at least for my style of trading, I like to stay in a trade for a minimum of a few days, if not a few weeks to a few months. So what you can do is you can plan your daily key levels based on previous support and resistance, and then keep an eye on that 4-hour. And when things are lining up, that way you can sometimes get into a trade a little bit sooner. Or if you're just an intraday trader and you like to kind of get in and out every few days or so, then the 4-hour time frame is still a solid time frame. But I never do anything under that. I have in the past, and it's all right, but I don't like to sit at the computer all day and continually watch for trades or wait for my alerts to come up. I like to just come up with a plan for the week and see how everything goes. Okay, so you always want to stick to your rules. And our rules for the 4-hour time frame is that we want to keep our new defined range roughly 50 pips or less, okay, of a range. And then when a candle body breaks and holds below or above those levels, that is when we get in the trade. Some of you base it on the break alone, and that's absolutely fine. I like to personally wait for that candle body, especially when it comes to the 4-hour time frame, just because, like I said, I really base mine on the daily. Okay, so if you got in this trade last week, then you had the potential to gain about 33 pips, okay, on the initial breakdown. If you set your stop loss to the upper portion of those of that new defined range, then you have the potential to gain about 62 pips. Okay, so it just depends how you trade that, whether you trail stop or not, and where you set your stop loss. Okay, otherwise you still going to gain that initial 33 pips very easily, and that means, as far as results are concerned for the website, that's 25, because I just like to stick it to around 25 pip increments for those of you that are a little new to trading and don't really know how to trade your stops and things like that. You're still learning. Okay, so for the upcoming week, we are right in the center of that new defined range from last week, so nothing changes here. I'm keeping that defined range the same. We talked a little bit last week about how price is just kind of going back and forth. It's fluctuating, going in between these levels, and price is kind of making up its mind where it wants to go as far as the longer time frame is concerned. And when you look at the daily time frame, you can see that here. Okay, so same thing. We broke below, we hit our take profit 1, and then we came back up and back right into the center. So actually, the daily is staying exactly the same as well as far as our range or key levels. If you got in this trade, you have the potential to gain about 46 pips. If you just set it to take profit 1, then 39. Again, as far as results, I just do around 25 pip increments. Make sure I moved. Yes, I did move that. Okay. So we will see what happens. Overall, the New Zealand dollar on the daily, gosh, excuse me, it is in a long trend. So if we zoom out, okay, well, it's not in a short yet. I mean, it is. We broke below here. We came back down. We created a new low. We came up. We're really kind of just fluctuating. At this point, we are in an even tighter consolidation period, but that doesn't mean you cannot gain from that every week. Okay, so if you take a look here, this range, this is really what we're fluctuating in between, okay? Until we break above the 0.71011 level or below the 0.69246 level and a candle body holds, we're just going to be continuing in that consolidation period, okay? We're price is making up its mind, okay? And you just have to be patient, especially on the daily, okay? So, like I said, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Overall, I mean, you know, the professor, as far as that's concerned, back here we broke below our whole moving average. Then we broke below the trend line that we drew in a few months ago now. Gosh, when did we draw that? Back in probably February. Yeah, right around February. So it's been a bit. Price broke below that trend line. The professor set up for a short overall, and we did move just under 200 pips, okay? Now, as far as the range is concerned that we're in, that I was just talking about, that is 176 pip range. So that doesn't mean that you can't continue to gain each week until price does make up its mind. You just want to make sure you have your stop losses and take profits set, okay? And that you're trailing your stops for the maximum pip potential, okay? So with that being said, let me grab a screenshot here, and we're going to move on to the Aussie dollar. Just going to pause this real quick. Okay. Aussie dollar, 4-hour time frame. Last week, we had a break to the downside. The initial move down was 25 pips. We came up. You more than likely didn't hit any kind of stop loss there. But if you start a trailing stop between like 10 and 25 pips, then you would have been out of that trade already. But you did have the potential to gain about 82 pips on that move, okay? So we had a real nice move down. I'm just going to keep that at 25 though, just because of that the initial move. Well, actually, that probably wouldn't have even hit. For those of you that trade the 4-hour time frame, yeah, I doubt that even came up and hit any kind of stop loss. So, I lied. I'm going to do 75 here because that was a real beautiful move. It didn't even come back up into, very close to the upper portion of that range, okay? We continued down. We created a new low, okay, as far as the 4-hour is concerned. As far as the upcoming week, we want to create our new defined range here. We want to make sure that this is within a 50 pip range. We're at 29, okay? Overall, this is a short trend. If you've been trading this one for a bit now, based on the professor on the 4-hour, then, and you have trailed the entire time, okay, then you've had the potential to gain a little over 300 pips since the mid-May, okay? So it's real nice if that is the style of your trading, okay? The upper portion of our new defined range is set at our resistance level there. And the support I set at the just above the lower portion of our supply and demand. So okay. The trend is your friend. So like I said, overall, we are in a short as far as the 4 hours is concerned. As far as the daily is concerned, we did break below the level I was talking about, that daily support last week. Candle body held, we came to it. So expect a potential correction up to our previous take profit levels, potentially even this weekly support of 0.74886. If it breaks above that, then we might just go into consolidation at that point. But overall, the professor set up back here mid-June, so about a month ago, month and a couple days. Overall, it has set up beautifully. We've got our first leg, second leg, and third. So at this point, like I said, we might experience some, correction at this point. It could be in between these levels here, even just kind of back and forth, sideways movement. But we'll see. Okay, overall, Aussie dollar is in a short. As far as the upcoming week is concerned, hold on. You have the potential to gain about 75 pips, so that stays the same there. As far as new levels are concerned, I'm going to bring this lower right to here, where price experienced some resistance. This is a good support level at this point. We're going to set, not going to move that. To grab, there we go. Set some new take profits, again, at support and resistance levels. Support and resistance are beautiful measuring tools for your take profit levels. If you're new to identifying support and resistance, I highly recommend you take some time to learn it. It's very important as a trader. In my opinion. Okay, so there's some good take profit levels going both ways. When it comes to the daily, I like to be between 50 and 100 pips as far as the range at 64, so that's beautiful. Okay, the upper portion of that new defined range. See, Aussie dollar currently in a short trend, and here's our key levels. Okay. Beautiful. Dollar franc, 4-hour time frame. Another beautiful move. Okay. Initially we had a breakdown here. Okay. This was from a news release. So I had mentioned in the last video that you're more than likely going to see a correction. Price, when it has a heavy drop or heavy rise based on news, many times comes back and corrects itself. Okay, so that's kind of what happened. Price moved back up. We'll see what happens. Okay, we've come up to this point at a pretty solid resistance level right here. You can see price hit, all the way back here. Okay, so we will see. Excuse me. As far as results are concerned from last week, we had a nice move up, 43 to 48 pips. That'll be 25 as far as results are concerned. And for the upcoming week, right here, it's a pretty solid range as far as support and resistance. I do want to make sure, yep, we are within that 50 pip range. Go here. So we're definitely in a consolidation period on the 4-hour. We'll wait for a nice break. See what price wants to do here in the upcoming weeks. Dollar franc on the daily. Okay, we are still within that wedge here that we drew quite a while back, back in December of 2020. So I'm going to say here, overall, I mean, price is really kind of making up its mind. I mean, we were in a short, we had a couple momentum candle break, kind of changing that short pattern, and since then we've been in consolidation. Okay, so we're waiting for price to really make a nice move to show whether price is going to head up or down. If we zoom out, this shows you a little bit better that we were in a beautiful short trend here, where the professor set up here. That's where we really showed that price wanted to head up, okay, in a long trend. But then price has headed down ever since, okay. Well, not ever since, sorry. It came down, other than those couple momentum candles, and followed by consolidation. So we will see what happens. Overall, though, if we take a look at this, it's still holding true to price wanting to head up. Okay. So this could have just been a very deep correction here. We didn't break below the previous low. Okay, so we'll see kind of what happens here in these upcoming weeks and months. Just 1 second. Sorry. Okay. As far as last week is concerned, price did break above. We had our take profit one. Oops. 26 pips, so 25 would be the result. And then price it just fluctuated back and forth. It didn't do a whole lot the rest of the week, so we'll see what happens. As far as a new defined range, we want to identify support and resistance. Bring it right up to these candle tops here and there. On daily, you do want to stay within 100 pip range, at least with the way that I trade it. Everyone's different, but you do want to be above 50. It's 52. So make sure I'll go ahead and bring this up to these candle bodies here and here. Bring this up to here. So put this right in between the bodies and wicks here. Okay. So as far as our new range, here's the upper key level. And we are in a consolidation period. You'll probably see price kind of fluctuate back and forth in between these levels with sideways movement until we have a break, a clear break. Overall, it is still a long trend, okay? Like I said, especially when you zoom out, we have not created a new low. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Euro dollar on the 4 hour. Last week we had a beautiful move to the downside, about 79 pips. For the upcoming week, see overall on the euro dollar 4 hour, we are in a short. The professor set up back here mid-June, and we've had a pretty nice move down ever since. Okay. At our initial correction up about 46 pips, and then price has headed down, creating newer lows and lower lows and lower highs. It's about a 331 pip range there, or potential there. Okay, if you trail and you've stayed in that. For the upcoming week, new defined range. Let's identify key support and resistance around a 50 pip range max. 43, looking beautiful. Back here, price did break and hold above the whole moving average. Came down here and tested, and then came back up. So we, as far as the 4 hours is concerned, we might see a change in direction. But we'll see what the market delivers here. Proportion. Lower. Euro dollar on the daily. Okay, same thing as the dollar franc. Price is really kind of making up its mind right now. We definitely have some kind of sideways movement going here. If you zoom out, overall, it did set up for a short. We had a correction here. We did not create a new high. So technically, we are in, we are following suit to a short. But until price really breaks below our 1.17757 level or above, and creating a new high, we may experience some consolidation and overall setting up for that short. So doesn't mean you can't gain though in between those times. Last week price came down, hit or take profit levels of about 60 pips. As far as the upcoming week, new take profit levels and a new defined range. 61 pips, beautiful. Okay, our upper key level. Lower key level here. And the pound dollar. We had a break to the downside last week. hitting just below our first take profits. I had the potential to gain about 88 pips. As far as results are concerned, to be 75. For the upcoming week, new defined range. Overall, so price is still making up its mind. It's been making up its mind for quite a while on the pound dollar. We've been following this for a while. First, we had our trend line that we drew in. Price broke below the whole moving average, then broke below the trend line we drew in. We had a correction, but did not create a new high. Then price came back down, and we've just been fluctuating in between these levels. Okay, so until price actually creates a break to the downside that I'd say is below the 1.35791 or 1.35232 level, it's still technically a long trend, just in a consolidation period. Okay. One of the big things with trading is patience. You want to have patience. So important. It's better to wait than to get stuck in a trade. A proportion here. Okay, and lower. So there is our plan of attack for the upcoming week. All right, you guys have a good one. Good luck with your trading. Make sure you follow your rules and be patient, okay? And I'll see you guys next week. All right.